Good morning, one and all. This is lecture number 28 in system modeling. So, today we are going to start module number 4, which is called as a socio-economic model. In this module, there are different kinds of modeling. In that, we are going to start with socio-economic model today. And one very important socio-economic model is called as Lotka-Volterra model. It is also called as a prey-predator model. So I will explain some of the model equations, how the equations are developed in a socio-economic system. It is also called as a societal system. Very easy example of this thing is there are suppose 1,000 seats for any post, and 1 lakh people are competing for it. Then how the competition will happen among all these people, and how they will win the 1,000 seats. So only 1,000 people will get the job, remaining 99,000 people will not get it. So there is always a competition. So this is the dynamics of the competition that we are going to see in this Lotka-Volterra model. For this very simple example of prey predator model is taken, which is a rabbit and a fox that is in the jungle. So the situation being rabbit and fox both are in the jungle, and fox generally eat rabbit. That is the property of predator. So fox is the predator, and prey, prey. So rabbit is the prey. Prey means whom the fox eat. So it is a pair of first order nonlinear differential equations, which is frequently used to describe the dynamics of biological systems in which two species interact. So fox they eat rabbit and fox live, and rabbit, the property of rabbit is they grow very fast. Okay, say though they interact into the reproduction thing, and they increase in very faster rate, and fox actually eat them. So if we are finding that if fox eat all the rabbit, then the jungle is there is no rabbit in the jungle. In that case, the fox also will get killed. So we will find eventually in the result that if a number of fox in the jungle it increases, in that case the number of rabbit initially will reduce. Okay, and if the number of rabbit increases, that also will increase the number of fox in the jungle. So exactly how the equation goes, how the dynamic goes, that we are going to see developed by Lotka-Volterra model. So as I told you that it will be a pair of first order nonlinear differential equation. So first equation is dx dt. Dx dt means x is actually the increment or the count of rabbits in the jungle. So the count of prey in the jungle is given by x, and dx dt, this is the rate in which the rabbits will increase in the jungle. What is alpha into x? So alpha is a constant, or it's a coefficient of x. So we have seen scalar multiplication. So alpha x is the overall count of the prey or rabbit in the jungle minus bxy. So more is the interaction between fox and rabbit, less will be the number of rabbit in the jungle. So if foxes are in one segment of the jungle, rabbits are staying in the another segment of the jungle, and these two segments are divided by a fencing. In that case, this beta xy part will be exactly equal to 0. Okay, but jungle is not like that. Jungle is an open place where the foxes come near to the rabbits and they can eat rabbit. So in which rate the foxes are eating rabbit? So count of fox is given by y, count of rabbit is given by x. So beta xy is nothing but the interaction between fox and rabbit. So beta is a count that is in how fast rate the foxes are eating rabbits. And if the rate is very fast, then alpha x minus beta xy, that is the overall rate of increment of rabbit count in the jungle. So alpha x minus beta xy will reduce if foxes are eating rabbit in a very faster rate. So dx dt, it depends on alpha as well as it depends on beta. So alpha is reproduction rate of rabbits, and beta is the rate in which the foxes are eating the rabbits. Second equation dy dt. Okay, how the number of foxes they are increasing in the jungle. So delta xy, again delta xy and delta and beta, they are in the similar line. Okay, so more is the interaction between x and y, more is the interaction between rabbit and fox, the count of the fox will increase, because more the foxes are eating rabbits, rabbits also are reducing, but foxes are getting more strong. And they are getting more strong means it's a probability wise, the chances of increasing the number of this thing fox, they are actually increasing. Now if the now this gamma y is a very interesting factor. Gamma is actually a factor which says that increase in the number of foxes. Okay, so delta xy is the interaction between fox and rabbit. Delta is the coefficient, x is the number of rabbit, y is the number of fox. But very important part, now I'm going to tell you, more is the number of y, more is the number of foxes in the jungle, that will actually reduce the overall rate of increment of foxes in the jungle, because more becomes number of y. In that case, that gamma y is total increment of number of fox in the jungle, that will create a food scarcity. Okay, because x is kind of a constant, let's assume. In that case, delta xy, delta and x part also will be a constant. But if y is too much, in that case gamma y part will be increasing. So in that case, delta xy minus gamma y will be decreasing. So ideal situation is x increase very fast and y is kind of a constant, or y does not increase in a bigger way. That means rabbit increases in a very faster way, but fox does not increase much. In that case, the foxes will be prevailing, or foxes will be staying prevailing in the jungle in a bigger way. So this is the first set of Lotka-Volterra model without any kind of constant, any kind of consideration. This is the simplest Lotka-Volterra model. So here it is says x is the number of prey, that is the rabbit, y is the number of predator, that is fox, dx dt is the incremental rate of rabbit, dy dt are instantaneous growth rate of the predator or fox. T is time. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta are constants describing their interaction of the species. So beta xy and delta xy both are interaction constants. And beta xy more, in that case, the rate of rabbit will decrease. Delta xy more, in that case, the rate of fox will increase. So beta is detrimental, or beta is kind of reduce the number of rabbit, and delta if increasing, it will increase the number of y in the jungle. So there is a note, there is Lotka-Volterra model is an example of, so there is another model which is called as a Kolmogorov model, which is a more general framework that model the dynamics of ecological systems with prey-predator interaction, competition, disease, and mutualism. Okay, so not necessary always it will be a prey-predator relationship. Sometimes it may happen that there are two species which are depending on each other. Here also there is a dependence, but the dependence is not direct dependence, because the fox, they are living by killing the rabbit. Okay, but mutual actually means that both are living and both are actually adding the value to each other. So those kind of modeling also can be done. Lotka-Volterra model example: a plant species and a herbivorous animal species. Okay, herbivorous, they are actually eating that plant. So this is also in the same line of this fox and rabbit thing. Fish growth and fishing rate by fishermen from pond or sea or river. So this model also will do that. Fisherman is depending on the fish. Okay, but if fish does not grow, if number of fish reduces in the river or sea, in that case the fisherman also will die. That means he will be out of a job, or he will be out of income. So he kills the fish, but fish growth rate if is very high, that will make the fisherman grow. But if number of fishermen becomes too much, in that case the fishing will happen in a very faster rate. In that case the fish will not get to grow much. Okay, so there are a lot of considerations, so interactions, dynamics that we can see in the Lotka-Volterra model. So it is an interdependency. So in this basic model, one species is eating or dependent on the other. So here one species is the resource for survival of the other species. So fish, uh, kind of depending on, or if you check the plant and herbivorous animal thing, that this herbivorous animal, it is depending on the plant. So if the plant is not growing, then that animal also will die. Okay. And if the plant is growing too much, the animal also will increase in a very higher rate, and that also again will reduce the plant. So there always should come a balancing kind of count of the plant and the herbivorous species. Samely in the rabbit fox example also, there will be a balance in the count, which will make both existing in the situation. So what are the assumptions for this Lotka-Volterra model? Not all are realizable for the environment and evolution of the prey and predator, but then also there are some underlying assumptions which are possible. So the prey population, prey means the rabbit, finds ample food at all the times. So I told you that rabbit, they increase very fast, they reproduce very fast. So the prey population or rabbit population finds ample amount of food all the times. The food supply of the predator population depends entirely on the size of the prey population. So fox eats only the rabbit. So what we are assuming is fox is not getting food from any other source. It is not killing any other animal. It is only killing the rabbits. So this is an assumption for development of the model. Rate of change of population is proportional to the size. Okay, so rate of change of the population is proportional to the size. So more number of rabbits, and that will increase the number of foxes. More number of foxes, that will actually decrease the number of rabbits. And if number of rabbits decreases, in turn, in the long run, number of foxes also will reduce. During the process, the environment does not change in favor of one species. So it is possible that when the whole thing is going on, suddenly there comes a disease where all the foxes die. Okay, so it is actually favorable for some species. So that kind of thing will not be happening. So it is a kind of even thing for both. So the environment is not playing any part in this. Only the nature of the prey and predator that is helping the model to be developed. Predators have limitless appetite. That means the predator can eat anytime they want. So these are some underlying assumptions which are also very important that you have to mention when you are writing it in the exam. So here the solution of ODE, that is ordinary differential equation, is deterministic and continuous. It implies that the generations of both predator and prey are continually overlapping. So we will find that it will be kind of a sinusoidal kind of a cycle where prey and predator will increase or decrease. So it will not be constant. So let us see the examples, or let us see the in detail what exactly dxdt means. So dxdt is equal to alpha x minus beta xy. I have already explained this. So this is the structural explanation of this equation. So prey, that is rabbit, are assumed to have an unlimited food supply and reproduce exponentially. That means rabbits are getting enough food, that is they eat generally all the plants and all, so they can eat from there, they can reproduce, and their count will keep on increasing unless subject to a predation. What is my predation? Foxes are coming to eat the rabbits. Okay, so what is the predation factor here? It is beta xy. So unless subject to predation, this exponential growth is represented by alpha x. So alpha x is the growth, and beta xy is the reduction of rate of the rabbits. Okay, so the rate at which predation upon the prey is assumed to be proportional to the rate at which the predator and the prey meet. Okay, because I told you that if they are kept in two different sections of the jungle and there is a fencing, then this beta xy part will be zero. In that case, the rabbits only will keep on growing. Okay, so but it is not like that. There is an interaction. Beta is the interaction factor, and that is actually reducing or bringing the rabbit count to a balance. So with these two terms in the equation can be interpreted as follows: the rate of change of the prey, that is rabbit's population, is given by its own growth rate, that is reproduction, minus the rate at which it is preyed upon, minus the rate at which the foxes are eating the rabbits. Same thing here, delta xy represents the growth of the predator population, that means in which rate the predator, that is the fox, will increase, that is given by delta xy, and that is actually directly proportional to how many times the foxes are interacting with the rabbit and eating them. So delta xy is the major factor of incrementing the rate of fox population. But gamma y, here it is shown gamma y. This part represents the loss of rate of the predator due to the either natural death or emigration, or less food in the area. So if you see that the delta xy keep on increasing, that means y actually keeping on increasing, because dy dt is the rate of increment of foxes. So if delta xy increases, that means too many foxes are there in the area. Actually, they will fall short of food, and that will actually reduce the count of foxes in the area. So their own count will actually be the cause of their downfall. So gamma y represent the loss, the rate of the predator due to either natural death or immigration. It leads to an exponential decay in the absence of prey. Okay, that means they are not getting enough rabbits to eat. Here's the equation, that is dy dt expresses that the rate of change of the fox's population depends upon the rate at which it consumes the prey minus somehow the foxes are dying. Now the foxes can die of their old age, or foxes can die if they are out of food. Okay, all these factors are taken into gamma y part. So these are the explanation of these two equations. Now Lotka-Volterra model solution. Whenever we are finding some kind of a differential equation, then we can find out the solution, because you have seen the solution of differential equation. The equation of periodic solution and do not have a simple expression in terms of the usual trigonometric function, although they are quite tractable. So if none of the non-negative parameters alpha, beta, gamma, delta vanishes, there can be absorbed into the normalization of variables to leave only the parameter. So since the first equation, there is a pre-equation is homogeneous in x, and the second equation is homogeneous in y, the predate parameter beta y alpha and delta y gamma are absorbable in the normalization of y and x respectively. That means the whole system will come into a steady state. So gamma is normalized function of t, only alpha by gamma remains arbitrary. It is the only parameter affecting the nature of the solution. That means how many foxes are there and how many rabbits are there. So alpha is number of rabbits, gamma is the number of foxes. That ratio is actually very important, and that is deciding whether there will be a steady state. Steady state means rabbits also will be there, foxes also will be there. Sometimes their count will go up and down, but we will not find that any species is extinct. That means totally missing from the jungle. It will not happen. Okay, so both the things, both the counts will go into some kind of a steady state and stay there. So what is the solution of that? So how the solution is found generally is not asked in your course, but exactly what will be the cycle of count of prey and predator, that we are showing from this graph. Very important graph, and whenever you are explaining the solution of this model, because model equations are given, initial two equations, but what is the solution of this model, that you have to explain with respect to this blue graph and red graph. Red graph is actually the population of the fox, blue graph is the population of the rabbit. What's happening initially? Let's start. So x-axis is time, y-axis is population. Prey rabbit is blue, and prey and predator fox is red. So initially we are finding that so we are somewhere here. Okay, so in this case somehow the fox the rabbit count is actually increasing, or we can start from here. We can start from here, that is peak of rabbit. That means too many rabbits are there in the jungle. Okay, we can start from initial part also, but let us start from a peak. So too many rabbits are there in the jungle. What will happen is just come below. Okay, now as too many rabbits are there, that means too many food are there. What will happen is foxes will keep on growing. But exactly when the rabbit count is too much high, fox count will be little late in reaching the peak. Okay, so when rabbit count is too much, fox count is rising, and fox count will go to peak after certain time. And when the fox count is at the peak, what we will find is these foxes will eat, because too many foxes are there, then they will be eating too many of rabbits. Then what we will find is when the fox count is increasing, you will find that rabbit count will continuously keep on decreasing. Okay, so this is a very important part. So we'll start from this peak of the prey. So prey count has gone to the positive peak, and that will help actually the increment in the predator count. Okay, and when the prey count has gone peak after certain time, because the predator will eat too much of prey and they will peak. But whenever the predator fox count is going to the peak, what you will find is the foxes will eat too much of rabbit because there will be too much of interaction. And what you will find is the rabbit count will decrease and it will come to a very low value. As the rabbit count has come to a very low value, what we will find is the fox count also will keep on reducing because the foxes are not getting enough food to eat. Because assumption was foxes are eating only rabbit. There are not any other animal which the foxes are eating. So that is the only assumption. So when the rabbit count is less at that time, after certain time, so this is the lowest peak or negative peak of rabbit count. That means it is the least count of rabbit count. What we will find is the fox count also will become least after a certain time. So peak in the rabbit will be followed by peak in the fox, and negative peak in the rabbit also will be followed by negative peak of the fox. So in the first we are finding blue is peaking, but red is peaking after certain time because foxes are eating rabbits and going to the positive. And when too many foxes are there, that will eat too many rabbits and rabbit counts will come down and it will hit a negative peak. That is a throw. It is also called as a throw. Okay. And after that, what will happen? The fox count also will become at the negative peak or throw after a certain point. Now when the fox count reduces, what we will find is the rabbits will doing reproduction, and because they are having abundant amount of food, so that fox count again will keep on increasing. Okay, and after a certain time, what we will find is the fox count has gone to peak. And when the rabbit count has gone to peak, and whenever the rabbit count is increasing, we will find that foxes have started getting enough food. Okay, and the fox count also will go on increasing. So this part, whatever is shown here, that is rabbit count is increasing and after certain time fox count is increasing, that part is given at the starting. Okay, but I could not explain it then. But if you start from the peak of the rabbit count, then after certain time peak of the fox count, then negative peak of the rabbit count, after certain time negative peak of the fox count, again the rabbit count is increasing going to the positive peak, and after a delayed time you will find the fox count has also gone to the positive peak. Again you will be finding there is too much eating of rabbit is reducing coming to the negative peak. After certain time fox count is also reducing coming to the negative peak, and this cycle will keep on going. And not necessary that every time these peaks are having exactly the same height. Here it is exactly the same height, but more or less the mean value of the peak will be kind of same, positive as well as negative. So it's a linearization of the equations which is yielding a solution similar to simple harmonic motion with a population of predator trailing by that of prey by a 90-degree cycle. That means fox increment or decrement will be lagging the rabbit increment or decrement by certain phase angle. That means first the rabbit will increase, then after a certain time fox will increase, then rabbit will decrease, after a certain time fox will decrease. And this model solution will keep on going forward. So this was a simple Lotka-Volterra model. So this much if you explain in the exam, this will be enough. There is another competitive Lotka-Volterra model, which is actually little advanced of the initial Lotka-Volterra model. So you can finish your explanation of Lotka-Volterra model with competitive Lotka-Volterra model. So the competitive LV model are a simple model of the population dynamics of species competing for some common resource. I told you initially that there is 1,000 seats and 1 lakh people they are fighting for that seats. Okay, so that is a competitive Lotka-Volterra situation. So the form is similar to the Lotka-Volterra equation for for predation, in that the equation for each species has one term for self-interaction and one term for the interaction with the other species. Same thing previously also we found that first term was alpha x minus beta xy. So alpha x was its own increment rate for the rabbit, and beta xy was the interaction part. Here also the same thing is there. Here if you're finding, you will be finding that the equation is dx dt. That is how the rabbit is increasing, or one a species is increasing. It is rx minus rx square divided by k. Okay, so in this equation for predation, the base population model is exponential. For the competition equation, the logistic equation is the basis. Logistic population model, when used by ecologists, often takes the following form. Dx dt is equal to Rx. So x is the number of prey, and into 1 into x by k. X is the size of the population at a given time, R is the inherent per capita growth rate, and K is the carrying capacity. Okay. So here there are two new terms. So previously it was only Rx. Now that Rx is there, but next term is Rx square divided by K, where K is called as a carrying capacity. And what we can find is this is the two models, because prey and predator for both the model should be there. So what is the first equation? So this is a simple model of the population dynamics of species competing for some same source. So there might be two different groups of people. So one may be a tiger, another may be another may be a rabbit, or there may be one fox and another rabbit. Okay, so tiger and fox both are fighting for the rabbit, and then how the situation will go on. That is actually given by the competitive Lotka-Volterra model. So in this case, the source is one, and two groups x1 and x2, they are actually fighting for the same source. Okay, then how the model will go on. The model equations are given: dx1 dt r1 x1 into 1 minus x1 plus alpha 1 to x2 by k1. And for the second, it is r2 x2 1 minus x2 plus alpha 2 1. Okay, so alpha 1 2 means interaction of 1 with 2, and here alpha 2 1 means interaction of the second species with 1. Okay, so alpha 1 2 and alpha 2 1, the values are same. So here alpha 1 2 represents the effect of species 2 has on the population of the species of 1, and alpha 2 1 represents the effect of species 1 that has on population of 2. So alpha mainly is the effect. So these values do not have to be equal, so not necessary that every time they have to be equal. Okay, because this is competitive version of the model, so all interactions must be harmful because it's competition, so both cannot live in peace. So one has to kill the other to live, because I told you that only 1000 job is there and 1 lakh people are competing for it. So if one person is getting it, 99 people are not getting it. Okay, so therefore all the alpha values will be positive. Also note that each species can have its own growth rate and carrying capacity. So this is a little complex model than the previous, but this is called as a competitive Lotka-Volterra equation when resource is one and two persons x1 and x2, they are competing for the same resource. So this finishes the Lotka-Volterra model, but mainly in the exam, if it is asked, what you have to explain is the prey-predator model, that is the simplest Lotka-Volterra model. Explain these two equations and then explain the assumptions, whatever are there, and finally what you do is explain the solution. So here what is expected from the solution, and here is the graph which is actually relating the prey-predator increment and decrement sinusoidal and delayed model. So that's all about this model. We will see the next model in the next lecture, that is lecture 29. Thank you.